This is the XRP Cowboy. This is Billy.
Well, at 15, you wanted someone to call your own. Sweet 16, you couldn't see straight, you wouldn't let go. Now you're 18 and you barely make a sound. You're getting older, a little bolder, you're in a lost and found. All the way you say you'll take me, any day you never break me. Slip, slip, slip of the lip. I like the way you move your hips. Loose lips, sink ships. The way you move, you don't miss. I said I told you, I get to know you. We're going all the way. Move over, I'm gonna hold you to everything you say. And now I've showed you, baby, everything today.
Alexa, off. We got some quick speaking to do, my dreamers. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? Is there excitement about this week? I mean, we all are feeling like something big is going to happen. And that's actually what scares me. Because you know how the market is. It always seems to go the opposite way of what we're thinking, right? I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about time frames. We're going to talk a little bit about things that were said a year ago. We're going to talk a little bit about little tin cap. But I'm going to try to make this video pretty fast. So let's fucking rock, my dreamers. My fucking dreamers. Fuck Billy. I mean, have you ever had those days where, you know, maybe shit's bad in your life, but maybe it's fucking perfect, right? Maybe it's beautiful. Maybe everything, if you were to measure it, you know, give it a rating from 1 to 10 is a 10, you know, and yet you still feel like you can't do anything fucking right. No matter what you do, it's wrong. You fucking bang your toe putting on your flip-flops, and then you say ouch and hit your head on the fucking TV, right? You go to open the cabinet where the coffee cups are, and then your wife or your boyfriend rearranged everything, so you end up opening other cabinets, and then you see the coffee cups, but your subconscious is like controlling you, and you just go back to the other cabinet. You're like, I just opened this one. You know, it just sometimes you have those days, right? It's fucking pain, you know. It reminds me of a Henry Rollins quote about, you know, he says, I think about pain, it really belongs, it's very personal. It's very fucking personal. I think about pain, and it's very fucking personal. It really belongs to the individual, right? You know, it's probably really the only thing that, you know, we really own for ourselves. And then he says, I like my pain. Well, I've been liking this fucking XRP pain for a long time, you know, and let's just get this conspiracy shit, you know, out there. You know, yeah, I promise I'm going to speak about my comments that I have, and oh my God, fucking your name, man, I can never, Mr. Illich, you know who I'm talking about, baby, look at the comments, you'll see, and he said, I think he said, call me Aaron, I need to look back, but whatever, you know I'm talking to you, my friend, and he said, he has thoughts that I've had, he said, you know, he was talking about, you know, who is Arthur Brito? Why haven't we seen his face? You know, and I'm always, the cowboy's going to say, because he's probably fucking Satoshi. But Billy's going to say, seriously, it's probably because, you know, he's got a lot of money and he wants to protect himself. But has anyone seen his face? This is kind of, this is an oddity, and it doesn't really make sense. And then, you know, he goes on to talk about Tom from MySpace. You want to talk about something that doesn't make any fucking sense? It's MySpace. You could upload your band's song. For marketing your business, you could look at analytics that showed how much income the people in your neighborhood made for your business. You could customize it so it was fucking all you and unique and beautiful. I mean, when people got into Facebook, I signed up just because. And the fucking Cowboys like, I'm never fucking going on this. MySpace is fucking awesome. Okay? But guess what? Next thing he knows, he doesn't even go back to MySpace. It was like something fucked with his brain that he had no control of. Like a pretty girl, you know? And then he marries. And then he says, I'm going to marry her. And he did. You know, that kind of shit. You got to be careful. You never know who's watching, right? You know, so here's the thing. It just disappeared. Millions of users. It's like it's gone. I mean, then it makes me think about fucking, you know, Facebook. And then I think about what I know about Facebook and all the tracking and all the things it does, and it's doing things we don't even know it's doing because the people, you know, that regulate that shit don't know what the fuck to look for because they're not there, okay? And then I think about the movie Snowden. And then I think about the big blackout we had about 15 years ago or so, whatever the time frame is. You know, the whole country. And then in Snowden, he shows that the government's working on this thing where it knocks out all the power, you know, and everything. And I'm pretty sure it's an image of what happened here. But I don't know. But anyways, and then I think about Eagle Eye in the movie Snowden, right? And you know what? Mostly things are interesting here. You know, I think about Mark Zuckerberg when he was speaking and how cocky he was when he was in deep shit. And then I think about what they did with Snowden, with Eagle Eye. And it was like, I'm like, that's like fucking Facebook. It reminds me of fucking Facebook. I mean, is Mark Zuckerberg like even bigger than we thought? Is he like deep state government shit? I hate saying it's so tacky, but is he fucking the man? Yeah, he's one of the men, the man. But I mean, what if fucking Eagle Eye was Facebook? Everybody has the app, everybody's doing this, whatever, right? Maybe MySpace was the test like Bitcoin was. You know, I mean, I can't tell you, Dave Schwartz worked at the NSA. They marketed that like it was anonymous, and it's not. What do you think? I mean, I don't know. This is just shit to get some comments so we can make another video about some more fucking beautiful things. I mean, maybe Tom doesn't even exist. I've never met him. I've never even seen him on TV. But you better believe I've seen the Zuckerberg. Yo, you know? So who fucking knows? Maybe Mark Zuckerberg was Tom. I don't fucking know. But maybe Tom is Satoshi. And it's not David Schwartz. You know? Who knows? Or Arthur Brito. Maybe Arthur Brito is Tom. Wouldn't that be fucked up? Which would make him Mark Zuckerberg. All right, enough of the games. But there's questions there, right? But what's important about this is price action. Now, you'll notice in this video I'm about to play you guys, I made it a year ago almost. It was right before December when everything was starting to look okay. You know, and I said, in this video, I believe in this video, I say, I know one of them around that time frame, that we're a year early. And you know, it's funny how the charts, they're not the fundamentals here. We're talking about the technicals, and that's the emotion in the charts. How they seem to be more accurate, more often than, the fundamentals. In fact, good chartists, they don't even want to know the company they're charting because it may influence them and their train of thought with reading the emotions of the chart, the technicals. So here's the thing. It's always seems like there's a big news event, or something working out good to keep these charts in it's the oddity of consistency in the randomness of the consistency within the randomness, right? It's not logical, but intuitively speaking, it all makes sense. It gives you this sense that everything is planned. Everything. I would argue that maybe our lives were planned. And not by government or people, but by a higher being. You know, I believe in free will, but I also think destiny exists. Free will can fuck you out of your destiny, you know, if you're reckless. But sometimes things can run parallel and intersect along the way. You know? So, point is I said it was a year early, but maybe because of the institutions coming in, it was fast-tracked, you know, sped up a little. But here we go. I'll show you what I say. And I have to argue, you know, when I do technical, you know, stuff, it's not my opinion, okay? This is the emotion, this is the opinion of a market, the emotional opinion. And let's go to something. Here's a simple thing, okay? You hear a lot of people saying $12 XRP. You know, they were just looking at Bitcoin, or to $17. They're just looking at Bitcoin depending on their what's the word? Well, let's just say measurement, their model. They're just saying, okay, Bitcoin ran 3x, so we're going to say XRP is going to run 3x. Or it just depends on, you know, where they're looking at Bitcoin's all-time high. And, you know, or they're giving it a little more, depends on where they're measuring XRP. But bottom line is, they're all basing this price on either where Bitcoin went the last bull run 4 years ago at the end of 17, or they're basing off of where they think Bitcoin's going to run this bull run based off of, you know, if it's going to go to 80, 100, depending on what model or charting tools they're using. But simplification is everything. And that's what I do in this. I'm just going to talk about how much Bitcoin moved and why it moved and when it moved. And it's not that long. And where XRP was when that was happening and how much it moved, which is where I come up with the 400K Bitcoin. And a year ago, people weren't saying that. Okay? It was before Kathy Wood was saying 250 or 300,000. You know, and remember, they always undershoot a little bit because no one's mad when they're making more money than they thought. And all these other assholes, okay? And she's brilliant, so I'm not being negative towards her, but I'm just saying, look at the time frames of my video, and you'll start to like me a little more, and maybe subscribe. Right? I called the first dollar move from 20-something cents to 32, and then I said I would pause here and go back up, go to $1 and come back down, and it did. Not bragging, just saying it's not me, it's not my opinion. I'm not even intuitive to that. That's just what the charts are saying. Remember, do I think Bitcoin will go to 400,000 someday? But this year, it's hard to believe that, right? So let's see what happens here. Oh shit! I just turned it off. But what it comes down to is I'm not stopping the fucking video right now, right? Not after I just spend 12 minutes taking your time. You know, when you waste your time, sometimes you're taking someone's time. Remember that. And try not to let people put their problems on you, you know? People have a bad habit of that. And I have a feeling we have our own problems, right? So don't let people do that. Now that I say this, you'll realize what I'm talking about. Here we go. All right, so I got a message about, hey, it said, hey, Billy, how come, you know, XRP's not moving? And he's like, last time Bitcoin was at 18,000, XRP was at 85 cents. And I'm going to explain. Now, this is a little technical. And, you know, I'm just basing all this on technicals. This isn't my opinion. But if you believe in the technicals, which I do, but, you know, this will make perfect sense. And I can explain why XRP is at 32 cents right now, and Bitcoin is at about 18 something. And it has to do people aren't looking at, they're looking at price, not cycle, and they're different. So if you go all the way back to this blip, this is in, let me get my finger, sorry. This is a hard way, I'm not a tech guy. This blip, that's where XRP was. And that was like December 13, all around here. Okay.
2013.
But the most important thing to know is, let me show you Bitcoins. This is, so you have a little more clarity because we're comparing to Bitcoin. If you look at that blip right here, right there, that date was, we were around $1,040. Look at that date.
November 13th. I mean 28th.
That was
2013.
That was an all-time high. So all through here, we dropped the price down. You can see it's very low. And then, so the new cycle starts when we reach all-time highs, because now there's no overhead resistance. So that would be right around here.
When we hold all-time highs.
Okay. So we were at 1189, you know, well, when we held, and then we got kicked down, overhead resistance, but then we popped back up, which puts us right there around 1100. So we held overhead resistance, which means there's no more overhead resistance. That equaled a rocket ship of 20 times. So we went to $20,000. Now let's look at where we were with XRP. Around, let's just say April, at the beginning of April. So this is important. This is a cycles from 1,050 for a 4-year cycle to 1,050, and we held above. Held above overhead resistance. That became support. So now if we look at the same cycle, so we were only at 1180 at this point in the cycle, because that's where it ended here. Okay? And we just couldn't hold it. Now, but a lot's changed. I'll get into that. So let's look at the all-time here. Now let's look at April 17th here, or April 3rd or 7th. Sorry, this phone is not feeling my hand. We were at 0.3 cents. Let's just round it to 0.03. Okay. Okay, so let's round to 5 cents to make it easy. Actually, let's do the 0.03. So at this part of the cycle, where Bitcoin had hit over all-time highs at 1,050, we're at 0.03. So here's the idea. That's where the cycle began. So Bitcoin at 19, 18, 20, whatever it is, 1,000 is the beginning of the cycle. So now XRP is at 32 cents, which means it's significantly
currently
higher than it was at this
a year
point
ago.
in the cycle. Okay, so let me pull a calculator out so you can see this. Let's just say Bitcoin at the beginning of the cycle last time went up 20 times. So that would give us a $400,000 Bitcoin, because the beginning of the cycle, after it gets past
If
overhead
history
resistance,
rhymes,
before above, you could say 20,000. I think it was more like 18.5, which it's been doing a good job. That's the beginning. So that would another 20-time move from a chart perspective, technical support perspective, cycle perspective, should go to 400,000, and that should be towards the end of next year. However, now that we have
which would be right now,
we have regulations as far as custodianship with banks. We shouldn't see that fall down, like crash like it did before, because a lot more people are putting this in their 401ks, and it's just it's a different time.
Either way, it moving to 60,000 at 18, it was still a pretty good call for anybody, because they made a ton of shit.
So now
cash.
let's look at XRP though. So if you take 0.03, the high was, let's just for simple math call it $4, 380. It's all math, guys. Divided into 0.03, that is 126.
0.03 is what it was when Bitcoin took off the last cycle to 20K.
Times that by 0.32 gives us equals
$40.53.
$41.
All it has to do is what it did last time at this point in the cycle. So remember, you know, the cycle began for Bitcoin at $1,050, and then it dropped down, and that was in 13, all for 4 years, and ran up to
cycle.
1,050 and held above overhead resistance.
Then now we got our
Therefore,
second
that's
one.
the beginning point. When there's no overhead resistance, things can fly, and they do often. So now that ran up 20 times. So Bitcoin, you know, once it holds above all-time highs, that's the starting point. And if it runs up 20 times like it did in the past, you'll have a $400,000 Bitcoin. The same applies with XRP. Now, here's the thing. XRP should go up. The altcoins should go up as Bitcoin goes up, but the rocket ship shouldn't start happening until after we've theoretically, you know, rocked out the 400K, the real rocket ship. I'm not saying it's going to go that way, but that's what the charts are saying us. And that's when we should see.
I can't take that guy anymore. That fucking guy. You know, he fucking just can't stop fucking talking. You know? But this was a long video. I should probably end it here. Please come out. I think I'm falling. You're the only one I think is safe. It seems I found the road to nowhere, and I'm trying to escape. I yelled about when I heard thunder, and now I'm down to my last breath. And will you let me say, hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge, and I'm thinking, my dreamers, hope you had a good night. Hope you're sleeping. Please like and subscribe. If you made it this far, you really owe it to yourself. You're worth it. This is the Cowboy. I want to talk about being able to research for a few hours and how you can turn that into over 100 hours of research in one day. Haha. Maybe a video later.